Yo, what's going on? My bias for the session is bullish to the ES data highs, and then after that we'll see the reaction, whether or not we get an SMT, that kind of thing. There's not really like a great draw on liquidity to the downside. We have these like 4 hour relative equal lows, and then we're still respecting this bullish 1 hour. So that's kind of where I'm getting my delivery from. So we have drawn liquidity being the ES data highs, and then delivery being the 1 hour here. And then I'm guessing as soon as we inverse this 5 minute, that will be like the last thing we need in order to remain bullish. And then as long as we hold this 5 minute gap, we should be good to the highs. Now, what would I use to get in for a long here? I mean, I'd probably just use this 5 minute gap. If we retrace to that. Or if we put in like a 15 minute here in the next 14 minutes, we use that. There's not really any good place to look for like a retrace, and I don't think that it makes sense if we're bullish here for price to come all the way back and sweep out this low in order to look for a long. So yeah, I think the best opportunity will be from this 5 minute. And then other than that, I think that's about it actually. We have this 4 minute here that price held this morning that could be like our last roadblock. So I'll keep an eye on that too when we get to it. But yeah. This morning was definitely rough if you were long biased. I didn't go into the day with a bias because I knew that we had conflicting draws on liquidity, being the data lows and equal lows, and then the data highs. And whenever we have conflicting draws, I prefer not to take any trades unfunded. And so the only trade this morning that I took was the 1 minute long here, and I took that on an eval and caught like 25 points and passed the eval. And I jumped in a little early here and I sold. I got in, I think, at like 780 and I sold at like 805. And that was my one trade. Other than that, I've just been chilling. This has been pretty bad price action all day. But I think now it makes sense for us to go up to the data high. And I think it makes sense where we reverse from being this, our liquidity sweep, and then this being our manipulation leg here. Um, so if we were to draw like this out as our last manipulation leg on the 1 minute, 2.5 lines up nicely with the last gap here. And then -4 could be like our last draw. Let's see, does -4 line up with anything? Not really. But yeah, let's do that. There we go. Any options trades for the day? No, I haven't. I haven't traded anything on options. I got you, Pixel. So yeah, we'll have the next 5 minute close here in about a minute. All right, let's take a look at Apoph's trade real quick. The short, yeah, that was fine. Good short. Just ended up being a break even. Oh, eBay's having a good day. I know they reported earnings. Did they report this week or have they already reported? Oh, are you talking about options? Because they are not up 70%. Gotcha. Okay. Um, by the way, guys, tomorrow I think is when we'll do the contract rollover. I think it'll overtake today's volume or whatever. The volume on the next contract will be higher. What is tomorrow? NQM, right? Yeah, NQM. So yeah, this will be the next contract we trade, and then after that it's NQU, and then obviously you can see NQU is not quite ready yet, and then after that we have NQZ. Well, that's obviously nothing. But yeah, for now we're still on NQH. So there's the 5 minute close over, and we got the retest. Obviously, if you're gonna take this, you're just gonna kind of enter without like any regard for like a stop loss. I mean, is this even 1 to 1? It's 55, and then I mean it could be 1 to 1, but ES is already so close to the high that I don't think it's going to be. I think we're going to get that SMT here in about a few seconds. We're about point and a half away from data highs on ES. So yeah, there's data highs. That's where I would go to break even for NQ, and then just assume that we're going to continue to run higher here. Otherwise, we do have a pretty big bearish SMT at high of day, and usually these are the ones that work. So obviously, like, I won't be bearish until we violate some bullish gap to the downside, but yeah, there's just no real point in taking the 5 minute here because the 5 minute doesn't really have a good draw on liquidity above other than the ES data high, and you're longing into a bearish 4 hour gap. And until we inverse those to the upside or we inverse the daily to the upside, I probably won't be bullish. So yeah, we'll just see. Now that our target's been hit for the session, I don't really feel great about trading. We do have these triple equal highs here, so maybe that's your TP1. If you're in the long right now, if you just chased or whatever, I think that makes sense. Am I taking this 5 minute? No, it doesn't make sense for me. But yeah, if you are in this 5 minute, this is your obvious TP1 because we are tapping back into that 4 minute BPR here. And then, triple equal highs are usually a good draw on liquidity. Who's in this 5 minute? Anyone? No, I didn't take the trade, vegan. I don't really like ever logging off of the sell side of the curve, and this is like a very old fair value gap. This is almost 3 hours old, so it's not my favorite gap to use. But yeah, so far bias was right. We just didn't get our entry that we needed on any time frame. The 15-second failed there. So no model for us to get in except for the 5 minutes. So no FOMO. And then personally, I'm not entering that with a 55 point stop. So we're almost at those equal highs now. Can you explain What changed to NQH or NQZ? Yeah, so the contract we're changing to is NQM, and when the reason why is because we have contract rollover because the futures indices contract expires every 3 months, and so towards the end of expiration, one contract will overtake the other in volume, and you always want to be trading the contract with the highest volume. So probably tomorrow we'll see NQM overtake NQH in volume, and then that's the contract that we'll start to trade is NQM. And you can check that here. You can see the different volumes of contracts traded. See NQH is at 395 and NQM is at 350 today. So there are those equal highs I was talking about. And now we'll just see if the SMT gets broken or if we get some sort of reversal once again out of the 4-minute BPR. If we break through the 4-minute BPR, I'm guessing we'll just trend day. If we respect it again and get some reversal, then I think we'll probably go for this 5-minute. And then once we hit this 5-minute, I don't know what price we'll do. If we inverse it, then we'll probably head lower, back to low a day. If we respect it, then we will probably see price come back up and retest the 4-minute BPR. And then maybe we'll just chop as long as we're between these two gaps. So that's kind of my condition is these two right now. So by the way, there was your like first TP, I guess, of the long trade here. I don't know if this is going to go any higher here, to be honest, just because we do have that big SMT. I'm guessing, though, once, like I said, if we break through this gap, then that'll be our sign that we're going to move higher. But yeah, clearly very bullish right now on the 5-minute. Just big momentum candles to the upside here. No sign of wanting to reverse yet. So we swept out these highs inside of the 4-minute here. We have another minute, or sorry, 30 seconds till the 4-minute closes. So we'll just see if this gets inversed. So we've inversed it now to the upside. I don't think there's any other roadblocks in the way. We'll probably just go back for previous day high now. And then this would be my final TP for the trade if you're still in this. We just made equal highs there. On the higher time frame, guys, we're like still very low relative to where we were. So getting these retrace days kind of makes sense based off the higher time frame. But yeah, obviously the 4-minute isn't something I'm gonna take ever just because it's so high up. It's just something that we're watching if we're already in the long and seeing if it breaks to the upside. And then obviously looking for shorts here now is kind of silly because we left equal highs. So we've put in that 15-minute below. Maybe if we came down to there and got a long out of that, we could long back to those equal highs we just formed. That'd be good. We still have that bearish SMT in place too, and it's a significant one, so I guess I'll just leave that mark just in case. I just figured it probably didn't have a lot of importance if we're going to inverse the last gap in the leg to the upside. So yeah, not a whole lot to say right now. We can go back over some of this morning's trades while we're kind of waiting for price to do something. Does anybody have a trade they want me to look at? Obviously, there was this trade. And the issue with this one is the fact that we were longing after buy side was already hit. And you were longing into a bearish 4-minute BPR, a 3-minute gap, and a 2-minute gap that never got closed over. And my idea whenever I'm longing, when we've hit buy side, is that I need to see multiple time frame confirmations in order to take the trade, because it's just like a really risky setup. And then you're also longing with the equal lows and data lows below. So you're just longing between two opposing draws and liquidity, which this is always going to be a lower probability play. And then my reasoning for taking this long here was the fact that we had a bullish SMT at the low. And I was only taking this on eval because obviously I don't want to trade in between two opposing PD rays. I also liked that when we came down and swept this low, there was very little displacement below it, telling me that price still wanted to be bullish here and that it made sense for us to go back up. And then obviously, that was just a break even. And then what are some other trades? So is it okay to still just use NQ1? I mean, yeah, you can use NQ1, but we don't trade the continuous contract. We trade the expiring contracts. If first low didn't touch bullish FEG and was swept by second low that touches bullish FEG, is it also a protected low, like when low is swept by another low inside of a fair value gap? Yeah, so as long as we don't close below this low, this becomes protected, right? And then we need to take out another high. So that high was this high here, this ITH. Makes it no longer protected. I told you guys that was the one trade I took. Oh, by the way, the reason why I wasn't responding to the chat this whole time is because for some reason my chat like just wasn't updating, and I just got all of it right now. What is against this 30-second short? Just the fact that we're bullish here and we're respecting bullish PD array still. What was the data high? Yeah, it was like last week. Um, Whatever news event. I think it might have been CPI because the NFP Newsweek or whatever that Newsweek was that came out that Thursday. NFP is on Friday, so it probably wasn't NFP. You took this germ. This is a fine trade. 11 a.m. macro. No displacement below the low, so we're long biased. We got the change of state of delivery there, the market structure shifts. So yeah, this is fine. This is a good trade. Had a lot of things on your side there. Yeah, tractor probably. We're probably gonna go back up to, I don't know, next unfilled liquidity, which is probably come back for this, and then after this, if we break through this 1 hour gap that held price, we'll probably see just longs to these highs, and then once we break through that gap on the 4 hour, I'm guessing, we'll probably see longs to that, and so on and so forth. As long as we're violating bearish PD arrays, then the next internal highs are probably expected to be hit. So now we have this 2-minute gap here. So we want to see this hold and then hit the high. If this gets broken through, this is kind of interesting because this is like our first manipulation leg. And that manipulation leg kind of lines up with the 15-minute here. It gives us a good break even. Yeah, exactly, Carlo. So we'll get the inverse off of an SMT. Plus, there's not really any good draws. We just don't have delivery here, so I think I'd probably give this setup as it stands right now B+, because we're also missing momentum. If we get the momentum, it's probably A-. But I'm thinking that we're still just going to be bullish. One-minute delivery on the far left. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. We are in the macro now, too, and we're just not seeing price do anything, so typically that's just a sign that, like, price action isn't the best right now. I still think it makes the most sense for us to sweep this high first and then get a short from it, because we'll be delivering out of a higher time frame bearish PD array at that point. And then we'll have the 15-minute below as the target for the drawn liquidity. Unless we close over it, Carlo. Like in the next 4.5 minutes, then it wouldn't be protected. Same thing with the 4 hour high too. That'll close in 4.5 minutes. So that'll kind of tell actually. It's a good point. If we close over these highs in the 1 hour and 4 hour, that doesn't make them protected highs. If we get like the sweep and then they close below, and so that could be like kind of bullish. If we sweep them and then close below, then that's probably bearish. Does anybody have any like St. Patrick's Day plans today? Are those triple equal highs on the 2 minute? Okay. So yeah, obviously price action just getting really choppy here. Sounds good, Jacko. By the way, we do have like apparently a Trump news event today at 3. I'm not sure what kind of effect it'll have on the market. I don't even know if it'll be like broadcast, so just take that with a grain of salt. It's not like a red news event, so I'm not sure how important it'll be, but yeah, okay, Stukes. So we have a minute and a half before this 2 minute gap closes. I think that would be pretty bearish because this gap needs to hold, especially with triple equal highs above and a bullish order block here. The only reason why this 2 minute would fail is if we were going to go lower to hit that 15 minute. It doesn't make any sense to with the rest of the day and how bullish we are right now. Was there a good like long here? That didn't get break even. The 2 minute here looks really good. And then it just ended up being a break even. So we've got 30 seconds. I mean, I obviously can't short with triple equal highs above. Those are like my like kryptonite for sure. And yet, while they're side by side, to me that doesn't really matter because they're triple equal. If they were just like normal equal highs, like maybe I'd be okay with shorting this 2 minute because we have the SMT, we have the woman at delivery, we've swept out our drawn liquidity on buy side, so it makes sense to get a reversal now. Like this is our manipulation leg, but I can't short with triple equal highs above ever. Okay, so there's the high. So that would be like final TP for those of you in the long. I have no idea what the candle was there. Um, but yeah, anytime you see a candle like that, that's a sign that like you should probably get out of your trade. Just a random news scandal. It's maybe something about the White House press briefing that just ended. Yeah, if they're side by side, 0394, sometimes I'll be okay with shorting. But yeah, so for what juice? Oh yeah, thanks, man. Oh, just tariff news. Gotcha. No, we already hit the data highs extra. This was just like the high that I thought made sense to see hit. Um, based off of how bullish price action was. That would have been my final TP for the long trade based off the 5 minute inverse. This one here, but I didn't take it personally because I don't long based off trades on the sell side of the curve. Now, I think if I was still looking short here, I'd want to use this 2 minute, and I'd want to see price close pretty energetically below that in order to get into a short. Like, big momentum candle here, just straight down, forming the order block. Obviously, we're still bullish, right? We're violating bearish PD race to the upside, and technically, like as it stands right now, we have like a protected high, but we don't know it's a protected high, for another 3 hours because we need to wait for first this 1 hour candle to close, and that'll tell us we have a protected high in the 1 hour if we close below it, and then we need to wait for the 4 hour. The bottom 5 minute. Let's see. I think you're talking about this one. I think maybe this was a break even. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, this bottom 5 minute was okay. No, actually, we do have delivery from the 5 minutes. So yeah, this was okay if you took it. All right, good momentum to the downside here. This I think is A plus, mechanically. Subjectively, with how bullish we've been, I'd like to see more for like a market structure shift. But we do have like this 15 minute right here that makes sense to come back to. Um, so I feel like this is a good break even point. I would have wanted to see it like right there on this candle, and we just didn't get it. So if we still inverse it with like a singular candle and we form the OB in 2 minutes, like that would probably be convincing enough for me to take. Just because of the 15 minutes right there. But if we don't get that, then obviously we're still bullish. And I can't long this high up because of how high we are in the range. And then as far as like since PM session started, there wasn't really a good long to take here besides the 5 minute that closed at 1:30. So yeah, now we're just kind of getting choppy. I think now it makes sense to get like the accumulation phase of the model here, but we'll just see. So 5 minutes protected, but I don't think that really matters. No, I wouldn't call that a data wick, Alex. But yeah, so far, still nothing to talk about when it comes to PA right now. We're just grinding up. And as far as liquidity targets go, I mean, this would be like our next high, I guess we could target. But that's not really a good high just because it's not like a high inside of a fair value gap. So maybe there's something better we can find. See, like, once you go up to the higher time frames, it has no real significance. So we have this unfilled 1 hour here. Maybe that we could use this. It's also a high inside of a fair value gap in the 30 minutes. So we can look at like targeting that, but that's pretty unrealistic. That's like a lot of points away. So we'll just leave that at 942. And then we'll see. We'd be delivering bearish right now out of the 4 hours still. If we got a short. Nah, Jacko, sorry. So no SMT at the high here. Yeah, so basically a protected high is whenever we sweep a high and then price closes below the high that it swept. So like in this example here, if you look at the 5 minute time frame, right? This would be the example of like a protected high. Where prices came up, we've hit the high, and then assuming it's a real protected high, we wouldn't be able to long again until we take out a low, which in this case would be like this 5 minute low at 345. Now I don't really think this is like a good protected high to use because like it doesn't really make sense to see a reversal yet. We're not like in a true reversal time and we're still just respecting bullish PD arrays. So the only way that I feel like a protected high makes sense is if we get like some sort of shift in market structure or we start to violate bearish PD arrays after the fact that we've gotten like the sweep and we just haven't done that yet. It's mostly I feel like a hindsight tool, kind of like what's it called? Like breakaway gaps. Like if you notice a protected high after the fact, you're like, oh, that's cool. That worked in favor of my trade. But like most of the time, like you're never gonna use it in real time. SMT on 15 minute at 19,441. Gotcha. Let me see what you're talking about. This high, I think, right? Or maybe it's the 1130 high. Yeah, I don't really see the SMT that you're talking about. We don't have an SMT here at this high. That's at the next high up. ES hasn't hit that high. That high on ES is at 930 at 5711. So yeah, this high was not protected. We just came up and smacked it again. Yeah, I saw that, Jace. Yeah, basically it's like when price comes up and hits a high and then closes back below it. I feel like it's really only useful when identifying like bad and good liquidity targets. And like right now this wouldn't be really like a useful spot to like identify this as a liquidity target because we haven't like retraced. So like let's say price like came up here and we like took the 5 minute high here and then retraced a bunch, and then like we looked and we were like, oh, we're really close to this low and we left a protected high. Maybe it makes more sense for us to hit the low first before trying to target longs. And like in this scenario, that just doesn't make any sense because we haven't retraced any, and like it's not something that we can like look back on yet. It's still like very close to where price is right now, and based off of everything else that price is telling us, we're just bullish. Yeah, I probably won't ever stop using the Trade of 8 trade copier, Jace. But I guess it's interesting that they have another option for people. Dude, this is so bad. Like, we're not even seeing any retraces here. Price is just going straight up, and there's like no good entry point for us to get in. Like, you could have taken this 15-second, I guess, but we don't even get the sweep here, and there's no delivery. So this is just like a trade I would never take. Plus, we're like super high up. Yeah, for sure, Jace. Rosemarin, probably not. Honestly, I think PA is going to be pretty trash this whole week. Just being real with you guys. We have contract rollover, then we have quad witching OPEX at the end of the week. Then Wednesday is going to be terrible because we have FOMC later in the day, and then we have contract rollover. There's just like nothing good this week as far as like PA goes. Plus, we have earnings, so like PM sessions are gonna suck because we have to wait for like earnings after the bell, and then like there's no news tomorrow, and then yeah, just FOMC on Wednesday, and then we have no news on Thursday. Or wait, no, this is Tuesday. I thought this, dude. The news we have on Thursday is just unemployment claims. So like that's probably not going to do anything to the market. And then Friday we have no news, and we have like this is just a terrible week to trade. How am I doing? I'm doing all right, Corey. How about you, man? How are you doing? What about next week? Next week, let's see. Next week we have PMI, and then no news. and then no news, and then no will be unemployment claims, and GDP. So I think next week will be better because we don't have like as many things going on. But yeah, this week's gonna be terrible. Anything taken yet? No, no, not yet. But like, let's look at today. I don't really think we have anything that big. What is this for? Wait, no, we don't have earnings this week. I misspoke. I thought we had big earnings. I think that might have been just last week. I guess we have Micron, but that's not really going to do anything. Yeah, we don't have earnings this week. Okay, so it's just quad witching and like lack of news and FOMC that are going to kind of mess things up this week. Oh, and contract rollover. Do you scale down your trade if you're in drawdown? How would you go about getting out of a 25K $500 drawdown? I'd probably just keep risking the same, to be honest. 150 a trade. I'd only probably size down once I got to like minus 750 or something, and then I'd probably go to like $100 a trade. So yeah, here the market's just moving straight up. I think it's pretty clear that we're going to inverse the daily today. I don't think it makes sense for price to come back 130 points coming into the end of the day. And then we're just blasting through this 4 hour. So yeah, it's cooked. I think it's time, guys. You know, we haven't done this in a while, but I don't think you know there's going to be any opportunities today. So why don't I pull it up? So for those of you that are new and haven't been in PM stream too long, whenever price gets like this during PM and it's just slow and grindy and choppy and there's not really a whole lot to say, we get on Wordle in the New York Times games. Does anybody have a 5-letter word they want me to start with? House? Alright. Now what? By the way, for those of you that haven't played Wordle before, how to play: you must guess a 5-letter word in 6 tries. If one of the letters in the word is highlighted green, that means it's in the correct place. Yellow means it's in the word, but it's in the wrong spot, and gray means it's not used in the word. So obviously U, and H aren't in the word, and then O is just in the wrong spot. So we have to find a word that matches this. Like, I have an idea in my head already. I don't think it's toast because toast has the O in the second spot and it can't be there. You're saying lasso? Okay. My idea was a cost. Acrid can't be the word because there's no S in it. I'm thinking a cost. Wait, does it cost two C's or one? Oh, I guess a cost is two C's. Never mind. Yeah, we can try lasso. Landon, bro, did you do today's Wordle already? Was bro a cheater? No. All right. Landon, since you're so good at predicting, is this 1 minute a good short? You have no idea. Okay. Landon, please, we need an alert, bro. We need a call out. By the way, let's see. Lasso. This is what a lasso is, guys. It's the cowboy rope thingy that they used to like corral livestock and horses and that kind of thing. No, Angel. I don't. No, this is not a good short. No. Nah, just send it to me in DMs. Did I take anything this morning? Yeah, I've mentioned it a couple times. This was the 1 minute long that I took. I took it on eval because we had conflicting draws in liquidity, being ES is dead a high still, and then the equal lows here. Um, and so I just entered early. I got in at like 780 here when the 30-second closed, and I just targeted like 1-to-1. I got like 25 points and I passed an eval, and that was my only trade for the day, just an eval trade. I've just been watching price ever since. Oh, nice. Okay, Angel. Yeah, you can post that. You took shorts to data low during the 1050 macro. Yeah, like here, this was good. I like this because of the momentum. Was this not a break even trade for you? Did you like jump in early? Because I probably would have gotten to break even once we hit this low and then price came back up. You took the IFG retrace. Oh, so you entered after we hit the low. Got you. Ape, for the 1v1 thing, I think I'll do that Wednesday if you want, since that's when I'll be on Chart Champs and doing the backtesting thing. But yeah, we can do it Wednesday. I'll be on at 7 if you're on, 7 Eastern. No, it won't be a 1 hour 1v1. It'll just be like 10 minutes. I don't think we can do 1 hour. It'll be 7 p.m. Eastern. No, Apof, yeah. What I'm saying is like when I'm streaming on Wednesday evening, I'll do like back testing using chart champs like for multiple hours. We'll try it on chart champs and then like I'm finding a couple issues with it after using it for like a week now. So the chart champs chart isn't actually aligned with NQ. It's like New York, it's aligned with Central Time. So all the timings are off by an hour. Close is actually at 5 p.m. Open is at 10:30. And then for some reason the news events aren't aligned how they actually should be. It says that we have 8:30 news, but that doesn't make sense because it should be 9:30. Um oh, really? Is that what it is? But that doesn't make any sense since price should align. No, it would be an hour ahead decent. It would be 9:30. Yeah, I guess it just depends on what date you get. But for some reason like on the chart itself, it'll say that like even during like those daylight savings times that we have 8:30 news, but the event like nothing happens during that 8:30 event. You know what I mean? Like it'll appear on the chart like we're supposed to have a news event and then nothing will happen. It's not an issue for me because whenever we get a data wick, it's usually super obvious and then I'll just use it to target price, but well, for me, I thought it was central because it just adjusted the time by an hour, and so or I guess it wouldn't be central. It would be like just 1 hour later. So I guess that would that be central? No, it would be earlier. So what time zone would that be? Would that be like yeah, I don't even know. Either way, basically it's just 1 hour earlier. Than it, or 1 hour later than it should be. So like this is I'll just show it to you guys. But basically like if price is supposed to open at 9:30, it's opening at 10:30, and then if price is supposed to close at 4 p.m., it's closing at 5 p.m. So yeah, I misspoke. It's not Central Time. It should be just 1 hour, like I guess before Eastern. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's weird. But yeah, we'll go over it all on Wednesday. Yeah, Apop, that doesn't happen to me. So I guess we're just trend A up this PM session. We're already up 100 points this hour. Since 1:30, we are up 150 points and just not a single entry all this way up. I guess we had this 30-second here, but nobody's longing this. I'm in Texas? No, I'm in Michigan. Landon, yeah, Dodge is taking a few gold trades using IPGs. We're in Michigan, like Highland area. Oh, cool. Yeah, and then we'll just have like no news. Like we move 4 points there, and it's supposed to be red folder. So 942 was that level I was talking about for that like obvious high, that 30-minute high. So that's what I'm looking for is like the next target, and then after that it'll be the 1 hour, another 100 points away. No, we haven't taken anything. Price is just going straight up. All right, well, looks like 942 is in the crosshairs. Just like obviously still no entries to get in, nothing textbook. You can just sit here and watch price grind up all day, I suppose. Let's see if I can find that 4 hour. Oh, I guess it wouldn't be here. It'd be on the continuous contract. But let's see if I can find that 4 hour screenshot you just sent. See if what you're saying is true. So we're looking for 12,000s. Let's see. Um, I don't know. There's nothing in here that looks like it. Looks like your screenshot you sent from the 4 hour. So maybe this is from like earlier. Here maybe. Um, 5 months. 0394. Is this it? No. I don't think this is it, so we gotta keep going back. Uh, yeah, I don't think what you're saying is like. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to, you could try and find it, but yeah, because now this is like too low. I think this is 2020. Yeah, we didn't even break into the 12,000s yet. So, nah, I mean, I didn't see anything that looked like that screenshot you sent. Really close to 942 now, by the way. Why do you trade the rolling contracts of the static? Because that's what ICT does, and it's easier to track liquidity and volume on the um, continue or the rolling contracts versus the continuous. All right, who's taking this 1 minute inverse up? Uh, 14 point stop loss, 7 point take profit. Is this considered an FU long? Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I'm just not gonna touch anything today. Unless like, we get like the very nice premium short setup. Guys, this was like it took me 5 months of trading futures to become profitable, but I was trading options and stuff for like 3 years before that. So I kind of had an understanding of like the overall market and that kind of thing like prior. But for somebody just getting in, I feel like you shouldn't expect to like become profitable unless like you've been trading for like at least a year. And then obviously like it's not the same for everyone, right? Like it's gonna fluctuate from person to person depending on your situation, what kind of things you have going on in your life, that kind of thing. How much time you can dedicate to really, getting into the charts. Me, like, I spent like an entire summer watching content and back testing and forward testing and waking up every morning and trading and doing all that. And I know a lot of you guys have jobs or like things you have to commit to, and so you can't commit that much time. But that's the reason why I was able to, get those payouts as early as I did, mainly because that was all I was doing with my time. Do I trade other assets? Not like day trading. The only asset I trade is NQ. Yeah, no, price action definitely got choppy after those 2 good weeks, right? And that's pretty typical, right? We had like 2 really good weeks of really A plus stellar price action, and then now we're following it up with 2 weeks of like not so great PA, and that's just like us reverting to the mean. Gotcha, Jacko. So after a big bullish trend day like this, I would kind of expect price to want to put in its daily wick. So maybe 3 p.m. will give us some sort of reversal here to take a setup off of. Maybe after we hit 942 here. Dodgy was talking about taking longs if we inverse this 4 hour, I think. That's what he had marked. Let's see. Yeah, he said if we inverse this 4 hour, he wants to swing longs, which, like, I think already based on the daily close, that makes sense. We have that market structure, the shift there. We have the daily inverse there. Obviously, the only thing stopping it would be that upper 4 hour. So we'll just see. Okay, Apoff. That's cool, at least. I don't. I mean, on their website it says they use real time data, like they've used like real historical data. But I mean, if they switch up the values, then I guess that's a good thing. Because there's also like instances where they're using the 30,000s in some of the charts that I've gotten on Chart Champs, and obviously, we're not in the 30,000s yet. But also, I was thinking like maybe like NQ is up there and then it's split or something. I don't know, but I don't think that's happened. We do have the macro coming up in 4 minutes here. I'm guessing it's not really going to do anything, mainly because like we don't really have the greatest draw on liquidity right now. It might make sense for price to come back at some point to this hourly that we just formed. Let's see, does it line up with 50%? See, the hourly does line up nicely there with 50% and the order block here. So if price were to come back during the last hour of trading to fill that in, that might make sense as like a draw on liquidity. But obviously, I can't look for anything higher here just because I'm going to be longing in premium, and that's like way too risky longing this high in the day. But there's the long that I mentioned, hitting the high and hitting that target for 7 points or 8 or whatever it was. No, Apoff. I just joined that for fun. By the way, guys, this is not LRLR to me. Um, there's just like not enough like important lows here for me to use and call that LRLR. For those of you wondering. If equal highs at 055. Interesting. Well, I guess we hit them. Dang, we're really coming for the 20,000s today. That's crazy. So here's 250. We haven't violated one bullish PD rate this stream. Every single one is held up. We really have 500 points? That's crazy. Not quite 500, but like 400. Pretty damn close. Yeah, we'll say 500. Why not? 960. Low of day was 550. So like, yeah, sure, we'll say 500. Weekly Sibby, the draw for NQ this week. How many points would that be? I suppose, yeah, 158. That could be a realistic draw. Let's see where 50% is, I guess, too, of the weekly range. Why not? 734. Interesting. All right, we kind of souped that high. We're still in the macro here, so coming up on 3 o'clock, it could still make sense for us to get a reversal. 0394, I usually enter trades based off of just like how good it looks relative to like momentum. And then the biggest thing for me is just draw and liquidity. So as long as we have like a really solid draw and liquidity and good momentum, I'll enter a trade. Usually I don't like count the number of confluences that align with the trade. Usually those are just like things that will have or give me more conviction in holding the trade longer if we have more confluences. Um, I don't really base anything off the 3 hour time frame, but yeah, maybe we could respect that. I think I would just look at the 4 hour here and say, okay, if we close below that, come market close, then I guess there's a chance we're still bearish. But just based off this momentum up, I'm guessing we're putting in the buy side of the curve now, and the buy side of the curve is going to complete either at the new week there or at this high. So what'll depend on whether it's this high or the new week is if we get good momentum over this high. What's going on, Chris? Yeah, I'm about to fall asleep myself, Chris. There's only one problem with that theory, Carlo. What did they buy? And also, where did they get the money to buy? Because all spending has to be approved by Congress, and there was nothing like any bills that were passed talking about congressional spending in the stock market. So what would make a short now? I guess good momentum. I think like maybe we get like that power of three towards the end of the day here. Maybe we see shorts work towards the end of the day, but like this is not good price action. O three nine four probably just closes a below or above on all time frames. Um, and it has to have a really good draw on liquidity. But yeah, momentum is like step one to every trade. Like you have to have good momentum. If there's no good momentum, the trade's probably going to lose. So here's 3 o'clock. Obviously, no close below there in the 2 minute. We got that 1 hour candle that formed now, so we have the hourly FEG down here. If the 2 minute hits this low, the trade's invalid. The problem with taking this trade is it's just kind of choppy conditions, and we've been bullish all day. So I'd probably want a little bit more convincing of a gap to take as an inverse. Maybe like obviously our target's the 1 hour unfilled gap down here. So maybe if we inverse this 15 minute to the downside and then get a confirmation set up off that, that's probably the trade I would take. Did I take this? No, I'm not in this. It hasn't even triggered yet. We still have a minute. But no, I'm not taking this. I just gave my condition for the trade. And the reason why I'd be looking to take this is because I just need something on the higher time frame to confirm that we're actually reversing here. And I can't just take that off of like a 2 minute inverse on like a not very obvious gap in choppy price conditions. I mean, the 1 minute here is still forming candles that have bigger wicks than bodies. We're not really accelerating in any particular direction, and we aren't really forming 1 minute for value gaps. So to me, this is just not a good PA yet. Bad close there. Like not the greatest. Obviously, 2 minute triggered there, and then break even at this low probably. In the 2 minute, no, I gave my conditions for the trade that I'd want to see here. I'd like to see the 15 get inversed and then a confirmation set up off that. I mean, this is the first inverse we've gotten after like the massive pump, and those aren't my favorite to take. Plus, we were in like choppy price conditions, so I'm just observing this trade play out. Is anybody in the 2 minute here? Because I think I don't want to. I wouldn't want to see price come back up now, come in this close to the low. Especially when we have a 1 minute order block in the way, I think I would just put my stop at break even if I was in this trade. Yeah, so probably just a break even there. Um, how do you guys feel about? I guess like what should I do right now when we get this price action? Where we're just chopping in a 30 point range for the last almost 40 minutes. Signals on the 5 second? Alright, fair enough. We can do that. Alright, let's see. Oh, wow. This actually looks like it's got something going on here. Alright. Ooh, we missed this textbook inverse right here. Nothing, Adrian. Price just went straight up. I like that the 2 minutes being respected here. We just came up for the retrace. No, Apoff. Yeah, Ryan hasn't talked about it at all. Okay, so 2 minute there worked to like the break even. I guess I was a little early on calling that a break even trade, but I don't know. We were up like from the entry 20 ish points and then retraced all the way. And without bullish price action spent, I felt like it made sense there to move stop to break even, but I guess not. I guess we wanted to hit the. Did we just hit the 15? No, we just barely missed it. So there's that 15-minute. Long. I would not want to long this high. Like I said, my condition for taking a trade right now is if we inverse the 15-minute to the downside and we get a confirmation setup off that. I think right now the draw could be 50% and hitting this 1 hour gap. It's kind of my idea right now. Hey, that 5 second worked out pretty good. So we've hit the 15. We've swept a low. We're delivering out of the 15-minute. So technically, I feel like this 1 minute follows the model mechanically, but obviously subjectively we're very high in the day. Wow, Squints, that's crazy. No, I don't. The only strat I remember from those days was the 3 minute. Wow, the 30 second. Didn't it have to do something with like 50%? Wasn't it like the first 30-second inverse after 50%? Yeah, ape off maybe. Ooh. Okay, so you're targeting a low inside of a 15-minute BISI. No inverse there. Yeah. I remember the 30-second. Was it just taking... Oh, yes! I remember it now. Okay, I remember. It's taking every single 30-second inverse, but it like had certain criteria, and the risk to reward was like you had a 10-point stop loss if the 30-second triggered and like an 8-point take profit. It was like something like that, right? It wasn't an, or was it a gap? Was it an inverse or a gap? It was just a gap. Yeah, it was something like that. I don't remember, but yeah. Okay, wow, that's a throwback. I haven't thought about that in like a year. It was first gap after a sweep. Okay, got you. Speaking of, here's a 30-second inverse to the downside here with decent momentum delivering out of the 1 minute. The problem is you're just targeting a low instead of a 15-minute gap. So there would be like the entry. We close below the VI. Obviously, I'm not taking this one because what has my condition been for taking a trade this entire time? Yeah, inversing the 15 minutes. So I'm just chilling. And this is why, right, guys? Like, this is why I'm not taking any trades in this. I mean, technically, this has not failed yet, but we're like one tick away from it failing. Both or just the top one? Just the top one. I mean, it'd be cool if we got both, but I think that's probably unrealistic. And then I think if we got a confirmation set up off of us inversing that without hitting this low first, then I think we would come for this. Right? This would be like the break-even point of any shorts that we take. So if we hit this 15-minute first, then obviously the trade's invalid. I mean, it's not a big deal. You're just sharing a model. It's fine, APOF. I don't really care because that model proved that it wasn't profitable. Like, they did so much testing of that model and then gave up on it, which tells me that it was unprofitable. Oh. Oh, it's just a first 30-second gap created after sweeping a high. Gotcha. No candle hit 10 point. That's what it was. No candle hit 10 point from entry. FEG is first in the leg, not counter trend. Yeah, that's fine. This was the basis for the model, guys. This was the rules for the model. Yeah, JM Hawk, I believe so. Oh, nice. You took calls this afternoon, Adrian? No, Umberto, we haven't taken any setups. I feel bad that you're as late as you are because we're probably not going to be on for too much longer here. This price action is just unbearable. No, you're good, Umberto. How'd soccer go? All right, guys. This is my prediction for the rest of the day. Ready? What do we think? We do have a bearish S&T at the high here on the 1 minute. This high here. No, Danzino, I don't. Well, I don't think there's anything else for me to say today. This is like one of the worst days of PM like so far. I don't even think we got like one. I guess the 2 minute was our only setup today, like actual real setup, and even that was like probably a break even because we swept this low, and then price came back up 20 points. So I don't know. I mean, we just went straight up. There wasn't any longs we could have chased on the way. There wasn't any good retrace entries. Just nothing. What about last hour macro? You're talking about 350. Typically, 350 is good if we're close to like an unfilled target that we've left behind and has been like a target for a while throughout the day. We don't really have that right now. We've swept out our major targets, and we don't really have a good draw on liquidity right now. The only thing we have is this unfilled 1 hour, but it's not necessary for us to come back to. And with the momentum that we have right now and the price action we're getting, there's nothing really telling me that we're going to drop 100 points to come fill that in and hit 50%. If we had something that maybe looked more along the lines of that, I might be like, oh yeah, 350 could propel us to that last, you know, unfilled draw. But we've kind of taken all of the good draws, and now we're resorting to only looking at like tier 3 and tier 4 draws in liquidity. We're not really looking at those tier 1. And whenever I get down to that point, I usually just don't trade. I mean, the best trade opportunities you're going to find are during the macro, whenever we have like good draws and liquidity, and if it's not either of those things, then it's probably just not a good trade. You're probably forcing something. We do have 3.5 minutes before this 15 minute gets inversed. So if we do decide to pick up and get some decent price action, the opportunity will have to be within the next 3 minutes to inverse this. And then maybe we get like a retrace entry. We get that confirmation set up, and then we target this blue line, which is our next 15 minute. That'll be our like scale plus break even. And then our final TP will just be the 1 hour gap. So yeah, 3 more minutes for that to happen. If that doesn't happen and we just continue to chop, then we'll probably wrap up stream around 340 today. Five-minute for value gap. Um, yeah, I mean, I'd want to see obviously this, but for me, the 15 minute is what's most important here. Miss anything? No, Scotty, you haven't. Yeah, I think it makes sense to wait for FOMC this week before taking any live trades, just because there's no news tomorrow. We have the contract rollover most likely tomorrow, and then we have OPEX at the end of the week with quad witching. So for me, there's just too many things telling me that this week isn't going to be good. So I probably will just take the one trade this week for FOMC if we get the OSFL set up, and then that'll probably be my only trade, unless we get something super textbook. I'm also probably going to wait to trade during like macro times this week, because I think trading out of the macro times is going to get you killed. Yeah, Marty, I think your best bet will probably be this Wednesday afternoon. But yeah, no 15-minute inverse, obviously, not even the 5 minute here. We just got 12 seconds before that closes, and then we'll know for sure. And then as far as everything else is looking, doesn't look like we're going to close above the 4 hour quite yet. Apoff, I have four. All right, I mean, like, delivering now out of the 30-minute gap here and the 15. Maybe the 1 minute backup makes sense here with good momentum. I mean, it already looks like we want to go for the high. If we just drop again and keep dropping, then never mind. Yeah, I mean, I have financial juice off to this left monitor that I have trading view in the middle. Then I have recording software in Discord on the right, and then above that monitor I have Tradeovate. And then I usually have like, so like imagine like this is the setup, right? Oops. So I have like basically this, and then I have TV, OBS, plus Discord. Why did I get put in? Okay, and then Tradeovate, and then Tradeovate plus Financial Juice. Oh yeah, but my Tradeovate here, if you want the specific charts, I have NQ plus ES here, and then I have um, what you guys see for Trading View, and I'm usually cycling through that, and then I have NQ like 15-minute here, and then that's my chart setup. Yeah, I just need one here, and this will be for um, higher time frame NQ slash stocks, I think, and then this one will be like, I don't know. Uh, what should I put in this one? Like Wordle, I guess. Reels. Yeah, I was gonna say like something to distract me up here. Yeah, this is trash. I mean, there's nothing to say here. Javi, I have a there's like these HDMI hubs that you can get, and that allows you to like kind of like use more. And then what I'm eventually gonna do is I'm just gonna get a second setup, and then one will be for recording, and then the other one will be for trading and gaming, and I'll just link them. You can also get like an expansion card and put it into the GPU slot below that and expand your um, like monitors that way, or you can just get a second graphics card. All right, guys. Let's see. Are we gonna get the 5 minute close below? Nope. So no 5 minute close below there. Um, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to wrap up here? Do you want to wait out the last 25 minutes of the day? I'm really good with whatever. If you guys have questions you want to ask, go for it because that's all I'm good for, right now. Like I will stay on 100% if people have questions. You take anything on AM? Oh, what question I'm gonna or what question would I want you to ask? Just like anything like ICT or psychology related or related to the model. This is the trade I took this morning though. I jumped in around 780 when the 30-second inversed, just based off momentum, and held it till here to pass my eval. And I just took an eval trade. I was going to be on eval this whole entire morning unless we swept out data lows, and then I was going to look for a long. But when we swept out the data lows, it was past 11, and I have a rule that says I can't trade past 11. The majority of my losses when I was first trading came from trading after 11, and so it's just one of the rules that I have. And then the reason why I took this on eval is because we had opposing draws and liquidity, and whenever we have opposing draws and liquidity, I can't take it unfunded. So this was my only trade of the day. It was on eval. I didn't take anything this afternoon because we just grinded straight up. There was no retracement, no nothing for us to get in. And then basically since 2:30, we've just been chopping sideways. And that's kind of why I'm saying, like, we can sit here and wait for another 30 minutes of chop, but I'm guessing nothing's going to happen. What stopped me from taking 945? The 4 minute and 3 minute and 2 minute had not closed above. So we had this 4 minute BPR here. So if you took the 1 minute long, you were just longing into that. The reason why I took this one versus that one is because we had a bullish SMT at the low here. And I figured, like, if we were to retarget buy side here, we'd want to get more than just, oh, we have V shape here. Yeah. We need more confluences if we're going to retarget buy side after hitting it. How do you trade evos? Do you use a more aggressive risk management? Yeah, I do, Tim. So here I risked. Where should I risk? Honestly, I think I full ported the account because I think I put in 3 minis and just passed it in 25 points. It was it was like an MFFU eval that I think I'd halfway passed, and I needed like 1,500 more, and then it was like close to like the renewal, I think, and so I just passed it because like I think it was gonna renew either like tomorrow or the next day, and I was like, why not? But yeah, I wouldn't recommend full porting. If you're somebody that's just starting out or like you don't have the money to like feed into a bunch of evals, just treat every eval like a funded. Unless like obviously it's the last few days, like my situation. How do you decide what is the target for the day? Whatever looks most obvious and like needs to be filled in to balance like liquidity, and then like whatever like makes sense on the higher time frame as well. So like for example, today it made sense that today's daily target was going to be the data highs. Now I didn't anticipate price to run up like this, and I think we just did that because I think tomorrow we're going to put in the high of the week, and then at that high of the week, whether that's us tapping into the weekly gap or whatever, I think we'll see a reversal off of FOMC. I feel like that makes sense just based off how bearish we've been. But right now we're like in this weird spot where we have the weekly SIBI above, but we're also inversing daily um, bearish beta race to the upside. So what I have drawn right now is like the weekly range, and I have 50% marked. And so I'm guessing if we start to violate the weekly SIBI, we'll probably go for that 50%. So like this is basically how I figured out my bias is, okay, what makes sense to get filled in on the higher time frame. Right now it's this weekly SIBI. So I'm long until we hit that, and then based on our reaction to that, that will kind of frame my bias going forward. Corey, like I'm like probably 70% confident that this week will give us like 2 trades maximum between the 2 sessions. I think there's like a 1% chance we get 5 trades between the 2 sessions. I mean, this week, like I wouldn't consider any of the trades this morning funded worthy. Like not a single trade. Not even like the 5 minute that Dodgy called out, because I think it was like outside of the macro or whatever. Where did he call out? I swear, wasn't it a 5 minute trade? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Corey. I'm probably gonna only take trades in the macro this week. Yeah, Merrick's. No, that makes sense. I think everybody wanted the data wick last week, so that was just like one of those weeks. One bad week doesn't make a bad trading career or something. Let's see. What did he take? He took the 11:45. What time frame is this? 1 minute. So he took this 1 minute inverse. I'm probably not taking it this close to lunch, to be honest. Yeah, so this would have broken my rule. So like, not even this I would have taken on live. And then like these I don't think were good live trades. This I don't think was a good live trade. I think if you were gonna take a live trade today, it would have had to have been a short, but there wasn't like a good short setup. Yeah, nothing. Just nothing. Yeah, so like there wasn't a good live trade today. That's true, yeah. I don't think necessarily today is one of those days though. I don't even feel like price cleaned up after 11. Like, and when we talk about price cleaning up after 11, we mean like right at 11, not like 11:45. Like to me, this still isn't clean. Like, do you see what happened? Like we came up here and then came all the way back to the 1 minute, and then held it and then kept going. Right? Like if you draw that across. Like to me, this isn't even that clean. So I don't know. I guess on that note, guys, it is like 3:45 here. I don't think price is gonna get any better than it is right now. So if anybody has any more questions, just DM me. But I'm gonna hop off here. I think you guys have been great and patient this afternoon. Thank you guys for bearing with PM price action being the way it is right now. FOMC is definitely gonna get us a setup this week. So yeah, have a good St. Patrick's Day. Stay safe, and I'll catch you guys all tomorrow at 1:30. All right, peace out, everyone.